Okay, so this is part 2 of the tutorial stage, and I'm going to be fighting the boss now. I figured out what the issue was. It was that my videos were too long, so next time I'm just going to record sessions for long periods of time and then cut them down. But it was kind of an issue because I didn't have sort of like an intro and like an outro, so I have no idea. Or I had, if I were to edit my first footage, I would have had to, it would have been really weird because I would have just cut myself off every 10 minutes, and there would have been no intro to each individual movie. So I'm gonna kind of figure something out for that, but let's do this tutorial boss real quick. So this is the Vanguard. He's pretty much the same thing as the Stray Demon and the Asylum Demon. Same moveset, except he's a little bit more clunky. Most of the demons in Demon Souls are, the AI is way slower and everything's a little bit more clunky. So, I mean, that's one improvement from Dark Souls over Demon Souls in my opinion, is that the AI is much better. But I do like Demon Souls more than Dark Souls. Aside from the AI issue, I feel like the atmosphere is a little bit better, and I like the layout of the game. The map system in Dark Souls is really impressive, and I like how everything's pretty seamless, and the level design is really amazing, but there's something about the Archstones and having the Nexus as your hub and everything that's pretty great. And I'll show you that in a little bit, because this boss fight shouldn't take me too long. Sometimes he backs up against a wall and it gives you less room to maneuver, which is kind of a pain for when he does that butt pound. But really the key to killing him is just staying behind him and... Oop, there's something there. I may die. Having him over by this door is really bad. I want to try to actually back up and get him to move a little bit. If I can. His reach is really long. It kind of goes across like the whole stage. It's really dangerous to do that, but I will do that if you need to. He's kind of a pushover, to be honest. Like, once you get sort of his moveset down, he keeps backing up into this little hole, though. That never really happens to me. Hopefully he can... Yeah, he's pointing out. Okay, so that was a Vanguard, that was it. He's dead. So pretty much in the tutorial stage you can die anywhere to any of the mobs or die to the Vanguard and it'll warp you to the Nexus. This is sort of the point of no return. You have to die in the tutorial no matter what. So they kill you anyway, which kind of sucks. But if you make it past the Vanguard, it does affect your world tendency, which I'll talk about in just a little bit because it looks like I have 3 minutes on this video. I think I have a max of 10 minutes, so give me some time to be really chatty and ramble about the mechanics of the game. So, well, for those of you who haven't played the game, you can sit through and watch the end of it. Yeah, so you get a bunch of really neat loot. You get a bunch of stones, and you get a bunch of healing items, which is really useful, especially early on. Later on, it's not that big of a deal, but... all the souls. So that's Dragon God. He just punches you. He'll get revenge later though. Well, there's Patches. You see him in Dark Souls. That's one carryover. So this is the Nexus. This is like your central hub. It's like your Firelink Shrine, essentially. You have a way to level up here. This is where you repair your equipment and store items. There's also leaderboards here, which was something that they left out of Dark Souls, so I kind of want to talk about that too. The Pantheon. Although I won't be able to go up to the Pantheon yet because it doesn't unlock until you beat Boletaria level 1, and then that's when it unlocks for you. So there's the Maiden in Black. Okay, so since I'm running out of time, I'm just going to skip this. There's not really anything substantial in that cutscene, it's just you standing up straight. So the whole story is that you cannot die because you're trapped in this realm that exists between the physical world and the dead world, I guess. And the Maiden in Black is collecting a bunch of warriors and binding them to the Nexus so that they can either go to the, go to the old one and be sacrificed to the old one so the old one can get stronger. Or they can succeed the old one by becoming stronger than the old one and beating him. It's sort of like a weird, ambiguous storyline because the intentions of the Maiden in Black are not really, it's not really sure what her motives are. But then you have the Monumentals, and the Monumentals hold together the fabric of reality. I won't be able to show you them yet either. I'll show you them in the other video. But I'm going to use this time to talk to you guys about something called world tendency and character tendency, which is something that was left out of Dark Souls. I'm stuttering now because I've been doing this all day. Oh, I also want to talk about Archstones too, because in Dark Souls you have an open world, and in this one you don't. You have the Nexus, and then you have these stones, and the whole story is that the Nexus holds together the fabric of reality. So if you break a stone, which they did to the World of the Giants, that plane of existence is wiped off the map. And they actually did this. They broke the area of the Giants to quarantine the demons, or plague, or spread, or whatever, but it didn't work. It seeped through anyway and got to the other stones, which is kind of difficult to explain, but I'm gonna quickly do this really quick. So right now, all my Archstones have these pink little lights, pink little glowy lights on them, and that means that I have, I think, +2 White World tendency, and if I get +3, I think it is, or maybe it's +4, I don't remember, it's been a long time, that makes it so that way I can get pure White World tendency, and if I get pure White, I'll get special NPC events and special items and special weapons that will spawn in the game. There's also pure Black World tendency that you get by dying when you're in body form in whatever level you're in. So say if I die in body form in Boletarian Palace, it gives me -1 to my score. And being pure neutral doesn't give you anything good, so you almost always want to be pure Black or pure White. How you get pure White is by beating bosses in body form. I believe it's in body form. I don't know if it counts if you're in soul form. But beating bosses in body form. And blah blah blah. Normally you have to beat 2 bosses in order to get pure White World tendency, but since I beat the Vanguard, I only have to beat 1 boss in each of these stages in order to get the special unlocks throughout the levels and everything. So that's that. And then in the center there, you'll see like a character, and that character is what sort of represents character world tendency. Character tendency. And character tendency is more of a PvP and co-op based thing, because the more that you help people co-op, and you say if you get summoned as sort of like a co-op phantom and you kill black phantoms, or if you're just like playing through your game and you kill somebody who invades you, you get white character tendency. And then when you get pure white character tendency, you get a special ring that makes you more powerful when you get summoned as a phantom. Whereas if you get pure black character tendency, which means you invade a lot and kill a lot of people, you get a ring that makes you more powerful as a black phantom or as an invader. So that's pretty much what that is, and that's really all I have to say on that. It's kind of a complicated mechanic because it's not explained at all, and it was something that took the fanbase quite a bit of time to figure out. There's a lot of math related into it and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to explain. I also have a mana bar, which is something that I didn't have in Dark Souls, and I have consumable healing items that you can actually grind for, so you could have unlimited healing items after a while if you get enough. And it's way better than, well, it's more spammable and exploitable. Well, I guess humanity was exploitable, but whatever. I have to end this video now because it's getting too long. So bye everybody. Thank you for sitting through me rambling, and I'm going